Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland, and tonight we're going to discuss Roger Waters, formerly of Pink Floyd. He's vowing that he's going to play Germany, whether Germany likes it or not. All right, so before I get into any of this nonsense, I do want to make it clear that I am a Roger Waters fan. Pink Floyd is my third favorite rock band of all time, and he was a major reason as to why that's so. When he has put his mind to it, he has supplied us with some of the greatest thought-provoking lyrics that rock and roll has ever had to offer. But you know what, as far as I'm concerned, that was back in the day when Roger Waters knew how to write a song in the format of writing it between the lines. We always knew that Roger Waters had a very progressive mindset, even as far back as before The Dark Side of the Moon. And of course, the 4 or 5 albums after that, he did the same. The man can write. Now, since his Pink Floyd days, he's done a couple of good albums, but for the most part, I'm not a great fan of his post-Pink Floyd work. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, but Roger has become part of the Hollywood crowd that has sunk its teeth into rock and roll, and it's part of the problem that's facing rock and roll today. What do I mean by that? Well, it seems like certain rockers seem to think that they can practically set up induction centers and call them rock concerts. We've seen this with Bruce Springsteen, we've seen this with Bono, and we've seen this with Roger Waters, of course. Now, I've already discussed many times those other 2 artists I just mentioned, and we'll probably get to them before it's all done in the future. But tonight I wanted to direct my attention to the fact that Roger Waters just can't seem to take no for an answer. Now, in my opinion, Frankfurt made their decision based on, well, Roger's mouth. He can't seem to stop it from moving. He's always talking. And frankly, he bores the hell out of me, folks. He's big on democratic values like freedom of speech when it concerns him. But freedom of choice, that's another thing, especially when it concerns him. Now, think about why Frankfurt has made these decisions. First of all, there was the diatribe between David Gilmour's wife and Roger. Okay, we all experienced that, right? But what about his live show sets? I have a photo of that live show set here on my thumbnail, don't I? Where have you seen decor like that in the past? Well, we've seen those same drapes that he uses live on stage. Those drapes, those almost Iron Curtain looking drapes, right? And don't even get me started about the pig with the money sign on it and swastikas galore. Now, Roger has stated many times that he doesn't care if those people who don't like his politics don't show up at his rock concerts. Of course he doesn't care. They're induction centers. They're not for the casual music fan anymore. He states that he has reason to believe that Israel, as a state, is in the wrong. Fine, he has a right to state that, but does he offer to work directly with Israel to correct the situation, to use his freedom of speech there? No. You know, we have an entire history of people who had freedom of speech. That's why, here in America, we don't have the right to yell fire in a crowded theater. And it's not that freedom of speech should have its limits. Freedom of speech should always have its responsibilities. And this guy, as far as I'm concerned, wouldn't know a responsibility if it hit him in the face. Now, when this whole mess kind of started to bubble up between David Gilmour's wife and Roger, I think that was the thing that kind of brought everything to the fore, and people responded. Communities responded. And they said, no thank you, we'd rather not have any of that. Imagine that. A community, a city in Germany, of all places, not wanting to have that kind of decorum at their public events. But can Roger take a no? Well, of course not. He's what I call one of the unholy trinity of rock. The Bruce Springsteen, the Bono, the Roger Waters monster that we've had to contend with for the last 10 years at least. You know, people like these guys, the Hollywood crowd, they only give a damn about their own rights, and then they want the right to tell us how to think, what is the proper pronoun, and on and on and on. I'm sick of it. All right, so now Roger is soon to be releasing his version, a re-recording of The Dark Side of the Moon. And we've heard how he's going to include spoken words in portions of this classic rock album. I think this is a big mistake because you know what? Knowing Roger Waters these days, he's going to turn this into a political slogan. And you know what? In my opinion, if that happens, that's not only defacing art, that's defacing one of rock and roll's very finest albums, in my opinion. Now, as far as Pink Floyd's remixing of The Dark Side of the Moon, I'm not impressed with that either. I've got to tell you, I listened to the first 3 tracks. A lot of the three-dimensionality that comes over on headphones on that album has been taken out. It sounds flat, it sounds very two-dimensional, and I don't care for it. Now, I haven't heard the rest of the album, but you know what? In my opinion, if the rest of the album is solid gold, it doesn't matter. Here's 3 cuts that aren't, and I don't want to have anything to do with this remix. All right, so a quick and to the point video tonight, but I did want to get this out. And by the way, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. You guys know I appreciate that. That helps channel growth. And if you're a viewer, and I have a lot of viewers who watch my videos but haven't actually subscribed to the channel as of yet, I would invite you to do so. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe button, then tap that top bell icon, and you'll be notified of all my future videos. And that way you're not just limited to what winds up on your homepage. All right, so I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line, as I see it. And together, folks, we are the tribe. I'll see you in my next video.